Hello friends and welcome back. So today we will discuss about risk analysis and what are the some important things to keep in mind while doing the risk analysis. I will try to give you some examples along with insights so that you would be able to understand what are the things we do while doing the risk analysis. Okay? So without wasting any time, grab a notepad and let's begin. Risk analysis is the process of identifying and assessing the likelihood and impact of potential events that could harm your organization. It is important because it helps you understand and manage your risk so that you can make informed decisions about your business. Let's take an example. Suppose a company is considering launching a new product. So before launching this product into the market, they will do the complete risk analysis to identify what are the potential risks in that launch, in that project, right? It can be anything like defects or competition or supply chain disruptions. So we need to keep all the scenarios in our mind before conducting the risk analysis. Then the team would assess the likelihood and impact of each risk and develop suitable countermeasures to mitigate those risks. So what are the things to keep in mind while doing the risk analysis? The first thing to keep in our mind while doing the risk analysis is to understand the context and criticality and sensitivity of the system or process which we are reviewing. Critical systems contain sensitive information and it should be given the high priority. Second is any dependency or requirement of the system or process which we are reviewing. If any system depends on another system, the failure of one system can result in failure of another. So, right? Suppose if there is any e-commerce website. So e-commerce website depend on third party for payments, right? So if there is any disruption in the payment processing pages, then e-commerce site like Flipkart or Amazon will also be affected. Many times we see where we are at the last page of cart and we are not able to process the order. In that case, e-commerce website will suffer because of payment processes, right? Then we need to check operational procedures, configuration and management of the system or technology. If a system or technology is not properly configured, it leaves vulnerabilities for attack. Training of users and administrators. If users are not getting training and they are making mistakes which can lead to potential breaches. What is the effectiveness of control and monitoring procedures in place? Controls are not effective and system is not monitored, it may be difficult to detect and respond to security events, right? And what is the manner in which data or system components are decommissioned? If any asset is not decommissioned properly, then they are vulnerable to attacks and unauthorized access. Now, let's take some examples and analyze these on basis of the elements which we discussed. Suppose take an example of customer database. Our first parameter was criticality, sensitivity, and context. Customer database has sensitive information which is required to carry out our operations, and it is very critical data because losing customer data would result in delayed processing of orders, right? And it also contains customers' personal information like name and address and the financial data which is very sensitive in nature. So we need to take note of all these things while doing the risk analysis. Our second parameter for risk analysis was dependency and requirement. So is there any dependency for this customer database which is in system? Yes, there is a dependency. It is dependent on network infrastructure of the organization and database management systems, right? And in some of the cases, it is subject to privacy regulations like we have GDPR in European Union and CCPA in California and HIPAA in United States. Similarly, there are some industry standards like ISMS 27001 or PCI DSS or we have NIST cybersecurity framework, right? So we need to take note of all these things as well. Our next parameter was operational processes, configuration and management, right? So We need to check whether organization has robust security measures in place like access control, data encryption, or regular backups. Training of users and administrators. So regular training for all the users is required, and if regular training is imparted, users are made aware about the cybersecurity threats and their roles and responsibilities in encountering that threat. So we will have less risk. If employees are more aware by training, then organization will have less risk, right? We need to consider this thing in our mind while doing the risk analysis. Next parameter is effectiveness of control and monitoring. So if there is any control, whether it is effective or not, whether it is working or not, we need to check that as well. Take an example. Suppose we have put the access control at server room, but it is not working sometimes because of power issues. It is down, it is not on UPS system. So it is not performing the function it was intended to. We installed it with the intention that there will be no unauthorized entry in server room. But if power is down, power is not available for some reason, or if it is not on UPS, then it will be open and it will be open for unauthorized access as well. So that's why if there is any control which is in place, it should be effective and it should be regularly monitored by our management. Decommissioning of data, decommissioning of data and system components. We need to securely decommission our old assets because it may contain sensitive information which is harmful if exposed. So there are chances of unauthorized access if data is not securely wiped out. Now we discuss this all in terms of information security. We also do risk analysis for physical security assets also. So now let's take example of fire alarm system. If we are doing the risk analysis, then we will check the context, criticality and sensitive, which is our first parameter. Fire alarm system is very critical from life and safety point of view. It may cause damage to life and property. It is also sensitive because its reliability and accuracy depends on timely fire detection, right? Now, dependency and requirements. Is it dependable? Yes, it is dependable on power source, sensors, emergency procedures, and an organization needs to comply with the fire safety regulations as well. Operational procedures, configuration and management. We need to develop regular testing and inspection procedures. Service and maintenance schedule should be in place. Training of users. This is very important because if users are trained about types of fire alarms and what to do in case there is a fire alarm, we can hold that fire at very initial stage and we can stop it from spreading. That's why it is very important for all users to be aware about basic fire safety trainings, right? Effectiveness of control and monitoring. So regular testing of fire equipment is required so that it is working as it is intended to. And decommissioning, disposing of all our assets as per compliance needs to be done. I hope you are able to understand what are the important things to keep in mind while doing the risk analysis. So if you are doing risk analysis for any of your assets or processes, if you consider all these scenarios which I explained, which I told you, majorly these are 6 in numbers, but as per organizations, it can be different. There can be many more criterias to do the risk analysis, right? But broadly, these covers all the scenarios. So this was all for today. Comment me if there is any topic which you want me to cover, and I will see you in another video with another topic. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.